Let's see if this is any better. I think it should be. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. Hey, guys.
Can you say yes?
I think that should be all right. Seems better. Hey, guys. All right. We'll try this for a while. See how it works. All right. I guess we're just going to agree to disagree on this.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Because no one else agrees with you.
That's fine. I think that's a common refrain in with genius.
I find it curious.
Hey, man.
Hey, what's up? I find it curious that this is the hill you're willing to die on.
I'm not. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not. I mean, I'm not calling it a. I'm not saying it's a bad movie at all. Obviously, I really love it. But I don't not agree with myself. Like I still do think that. Like it still exists as, to me it feels disconnected. Like I understand I get it. It sets it up. I just don't.
Yeah, like, so what would you have preferred?
Do it all within the I don't know. It just feels. Do it all within the scope of that one story. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why. It just feels somewhat somewhat disconnected. Really, more it just feels like very clearly narratively. The narrative purpose to me is like blatant. You know what I mean? Where I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's not a bad movie. I don't understand why this is a hard concept to grasp. It's a very good movie. I don't know. Yeah, like,
because like a lot of movies have cold open type stuff
sure.
that lay the groundwork that might not be directly related, but set up character, thematic, and I mean, in my opinion, it explains what 60 Minutes does, how it does it, the reach it has, the importance that it is,
sure,
and how those two guys work within 60 Minutes and what their jobs are, and then their relationships. It is all that in 4 minutes. I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah. After what happened with Heat, you really thought The Insider. What happened with Heat? Was it that I liked it, but not enough for you? Sorry. That I have that our tastes are different.
Look, if you don't like what I like, I don't know how we're gonna be doing this stream.
Yeah. No, yeah. You didn't love it. That is wrong. I mean, no, it's fine. It's totally fine. Enough people love Heat for me to like for my really loving the end of it and where it goes to be fine.
I love it wholeheartedly, and I agreed with a lot of what you had to say about it.
Yeah.
But in this instance, you're wrong, and okay. I kind of think less of you.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't want to derail my derailing. It's not derailing. We're talking about the film. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel I don't know. Yeah, it's a movie. It's a thing where it is so it sticks out. It sticks out and not. Yeah, I don't know. It sticks out to me. It feels very, very functional. It's still good.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of like, and here's the other thing, and this is not necessarily its fault, but it was already kind of the case by then, but it's also a thing of its time. I've seen enough of my share of films that start with that kind of music in a Middle Eastern country, in that sort of, I'm just kind of like another.
Well, what does that have to do with anything?
I don't know,
because that's a factual thing that happened.
Sure.
So,
but they didn't have to start like that. You know what I mean? Like they can start in the country. They can start within that story.
You mean start in America?
Yeah, start in America. Yeah. No, they can start in Iran. They can start whatever. But
I'm starting to understand. Yeah, I'm starting to see it.
I want my movies American. No, I just like, and I think I just, like every Michael Bay movie starts desert, right? Every single movie.
Well, what have we said about Michael Bay?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
He's
Where do you
ripping
think?
off
Where do you think he's getting that from?
I agree.
He's watching The Insider.
Totally. He's definitely. And he's like, well, they did it in The Insiders, so it's fine. Now, Michael Bay's a talented person. Many movies so many movies in the 90s started that way. And this is from that time, so it's fine. But it just, like, you don't have to have that sort of, like, you know, like, that music, soundtrack, all that stuff. And I'm like, I know where we are, it's fine. I don't know.
I love how it opens on literally the camera blindfolded.
It does, yeah.
It's fucking great.
Yes. I wasn't.
There you go. We did it.
Here's the deal.
We did it.
No, it's fine. Here's the deal. Here's the ultimate. Here's the deal. It's the opening of the movie, and it didn't immediately grab me. And then
this is like saying, you know, I like Serpico, but like they started with him like at the police academy, and like
it's not like this.
And it's just like that's. I mean, he's a police officer, but he's an undercover police officer. So, like, why not just start on him on the streets? Like, why show him going through police training and graduating? That's weird to me. Yeah. That's what I'm...
What I'm saying doesn't make sense to you?
It doesn't. Because it works. Okay. And it clearly works on narrative levels and character levels and theme. Like, it sets up so many things.
Because here's the thing. Like,
I don't understand.
It is a completely unrelated story. Completely.
Right? Yeah, but okay, but that isn't.
And the reason it's in the movie, as we said, is to establish who he is, establish his working relationship with Mike Wallace, establish what 60 Minutes is and the reach it has, which I don't necessarily
sets up the time period.
Need to do that, but
the whole movie's about 60 minutes.
No, I know, but like we get that. We know 60 Minutes is a big deal because later we're in a gigantic boardroom in the middle of Midtown Manhattan talking about like
but it sets it up
Westinghouse buying NBC and all of it, and they say many times like we get that
you get that because you understand because of the opening scene, like it does
the opening scene
it works into that, you know,
it plays into that. Sure, I think that it is it goes like I wouldn't have been like watching that movie, I wouldn't have been like, this is a nothing news show. They're written about in the New York Times and all this stuff goes down. Everyone's watching it. They talk about how many million viewers it goes out to. They talk about Mike Wallace, like, you know, how many years have we done this? Mike, this is going to be as big as your this story. Like, I get all that. Like, they do that. They do that throughout the movie. I don't think they need this stuff before. I also, because I lived in the United States, I know what 60 Minutes is. I know who Mike Wallace is. I go, oh, that's Mike Wallace. Dang, you know.
A lot of people don't though.
Fair, but like even if you didn't have that foreknowledge, I think they do it in the movie. I don't know. Yeah, I just so all that stuff to me happens. This movie, the part of the beginning deepens it by going, here's another story, and here's a head of state, or not a head of state, but like a big political figure. He's the only person who got into whatever. That could happen in 30 seconds in a conversation. We don't need all that. It's good. It's good. It's not bad. It just to me sticks out as its narrative function. It just goes, this is to give you this kind of background.
You weren't entertained by it?
Sure, eventually. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, because it's good.
I'm just trying to.
But that doesn't make sense. Like, I feel
because you're saying to me, you're like, I don't feel like it fits. But like, if it works on it works on a narrative function, and I was entertained.
No, that's just two different things. I was entertained by that scene, right? By the scene at the end. I'm not saying it. I'm saying its narrative function is clear. It's like when it's not like this. It's not exactly like this, but it's like when someone goes, "Oh man, that's really tough," especially since your dad just died. And you're like, you don't have to say that to me. We know, it's like that piece of exposition. It's like it's background, it's character development, but it gives us that information and that sort of thing.
But it's not exposition.
It's not. It gives us
visual exposition, I suppose, in the sense that
it's
setting up.
It's establishing relationships, right?
Well, it's the first 4 minutes of the movie.
I know. I'm saying we don't need it. I know.
He's getting mad at me.
I'm not getting mad at you. I'm saying it's not needed.
He just did this thing. He was like, "Motherfucker, you know what I'm talking about."
Yeah. How about Gina Gershon? Yeah, it's an American police. What? I don't know what's happening. How about that Gina Gershon? We can talk about how I'd like to be displayed. That character, is that cool? That's totally fine. Look. We disagree. It's fine, but what I'm saying makes sense, right? Like you don't have to agree, but you understand what I'm saying. Where to me, it sticks out as dedicated character establishment. And to me, that's why that's there, and it's the only reason that's there. But
why are those bad things?
Because it takes me out of something when it doesn't feel
we
organically part of.
But we just started.
I know.
So we're not even in it yet.
I know.
So how did it take you out of it? Like it's the first thing.
Because I know.
So we're not even into the story yet.
Yeah.
It's like a prologue.
I understand. But I go I know what this movie's about, and I go, oh, we're starting somewhere else, and then I go, oh, they're just setting this up. This is another thing. Maybe it'll come back. By the end of the movie, I go, it didn't come back. It feels extraneous. But it's fine. It's fine. You don't feel that way, but you understand what I'm saying. Like if you disagree, great. But what I'm saying, those are the reasons. That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. Nobody's basically a perfect example of a show don't tell. Yeah, but you don't need it. Almost the exact opposite of exposition. No, I mean, because exposition can be good and bad. And show don't tell is good exposition. Establishes several things in a cool Michael Mann style kinetic opening, which I don't need. I don't need this movie. To me, I think of the cool parts of this movie, and I want the conversations about integrity.
I'm not disagreeing. I think why all I'm saying is.
It doesn't feel separate.
I'm saying
it doesn't feel disconnected to you.
This is the type of thing that I have when I'm going back and forth on notes and stuff, in an email thread for a video I'm doing, and it's just and I'm like, okay, that's a good note. Why?
Why what?
But this way also works. So why
I guess I'm saying for me it feels disconnected and
it's there's a trillion ways
Sure.
It's always like that. There's a trillion ways we could go about doing anything.
Sure.
So if you can't tell me why this fundamentally doesn't work, because it does work, why
it works? It just feels.
Is it just because it's outside of the if it was another 60-minute story that they were doing?
I mean, it is a 60-minute story.
I know, but if it was another 60 minutes news story that wasn't set in such an exotic location with an exotic, music and the kinetic, just it's a very, it's blindfold, it's that scenario. To me, I'm well, I like it because it sets up so many things. So if it was just in a location that is fits within the rest of the world of the movie, would you have bought in? Would you have questioned it the way you're questioning this opening? Is it stylistic? Is it jarring to you? Is that what it is?
It's not jarring. It just feels so. That's the thing is I'm not questioning it.
If they were investigating a Washington thing, and it was more of a political thing, and then they did that, but it was still a prologue piece on a different story, it would have fit in that world a bit more. I'm just trying to understand where the critique is coming from, more or less. Because it sets up so many things. I'm just
sure,
and it doesn't feel extraneous.
It is. It's because it's honestly, if they had started with something about Wygand, gone to that, gone back to Wygand, cut back in there and whatever, it would have been fine. I think it's because it's the first thing that I see, and it goes because a movie. I don't know, it kind of goes. Here's your introduction to this movie.
I think it shows. This is your first. I see what you're saying now.
Maybe it's
just, but I feel it's such an exotic kinetic opening, and then it immediately uses that to its. In my opinion, it does all the things, juxtapose. And then it immediately cuts to a harsh, quiet office in suburbia type, and then him immediately driving home to suburbia, and it shows the two. Is these are the two lifestyles that these people lead. Yeah. This person is literally a globe-trotting, world famous, highly respected journalist, interviewing literally some of the, and I'm sure that interview was a big get at the time, and I'm sure if we researched that, it would be a thing.
And I mean, they present it that way. I get it.
And then you show this normal guy just driving home, and saying hello to his kids, and it just seems almost underwhelming, but in an intentional way. So it works on that level too. I feel like it works on multiple.
Sure, it does. And just to be 100% clear, this is not a thing where this is not, maybe it's coming off this way. This is not a thing where I go, the whole movie's great, but what can I, I'm not going after something.
No, I like this because we are disagreeing about this,
yeah.
and I know we both really like this movie, so I'm just like, I am trying to understand where you're coming from because it does genuinely befuddle me.
Well, this is a genuine,
sure, I can tell.
response that I have,
sure,
and I'm trying to unpack.
I think I'm just more curious. I'm not,
like,
I mean, you like what you like, I like what I like. That's awesome. I'm just curious because usually. I'm just always I'm always curious when someone I'm like, oh wow, it always just goes to show it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like everybody has their comes from, all your life experiences and all your things that you did in your entire life led to you to this moment to have that opinion about that thing.
Right.
And that's awesome. And that's
totally.
And that's valid.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's just I don't know. Yeah, if they did something in The Office or did something maybe it would feel different. I think if they just kind of established that on the fly on the way to
it sounds like it's just a choice that didn't. It's like we're gonna go for it, and then your opinion just didn't work.
Yeah,
we're gonna set up a radical different thing to open this bad boy to show who this guy is.
Yeah.
And then we're going to immediately live in this other world for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and on paper, I think that, saying that doesn't sound... I
mean, it's like classic, that writing thing is get him in the first 2 minutes,
right.
Open big.
Yes. But that's what I'm saying, is, I just see the guts of it. I see the scaffolding of it.
Sure. I mean, so
immediately.
It's a writer thing. It's a cold open. It's get him.
But it's not a thing where I just go... I think as I was watching it, I was like, oh, we're here to establish this. And that is a moment where I'm not invested in the story. When I pull out of the story and go, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay. And then okay, cool. And boom, boom, boom. And then the rest, and then now that we're past that, we discard it. And now we're into the movie. And that's how opens work. But if it's...
But it's not it's not... The opening of this program, Lover, what did you think of the plane hiding? Yeah, so that's enough. Yeah, I'm just real curious about this. So that's the plane hijacking in the opening of The Dark Knight Rises. How would you classify that? Because they're all just kind of cold opens, but in my opinion, that plus it's all setting up.
I get what you're saying, and that's an interesting comparison. I don't feel the same way about it. Because that serves to, I don't know. Yeah. The words that I'm going to say ostensibly can be applied to the same thing. I just feel differently about it. I don't know. Because that is, in a superhero movie, you often go, the first scene sets up the bad guy, and that sets up the bad guy. It's true.
But do you think you're coming from this from too much of an inside baseball? Do you think you're seeing too much of the guts when you watch a movie? Because I'm as guilty of it as anybody, but
not often.
Yeah,
and I think a filmmaker as talented as Michael Mann, a filmmaker. That is the craft of filmmaking, is to hide the guts, to hide the scaffolding.
I think he does.
And I think he often does. why is that offensive?
I love it. I'm not mad. I love it.
Why?
You're I think he.
I've already said
does.
I've already said this is
in this particular case, hot garbage.
It's not hot garbage. It just feels disconnected from the rest of the film. Yeah, I don't know. What
if we hadn't really dug into the details of the opening, and you had just you had watched something else entirely for the first 4 minutes before you started the movie, and you're like, but then it finally gets to Iran, and then I'm into it.
You're like, wait, what? And you're the ending, and you go, oh, you watched a videotaped version from 1993, where it was the last 10 minutes of the practice, and then it was.
Like it tried to like open on a cliffhanger ending, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. I understand what Lobo is talking about, the fact that it reflects something that actually happened in real life. Well, I don't think so, because like you could take any, like if that's all it takes, you could take any story that he did, you could have, it's not like, I know it's real.
You're just saying it doesn't pertain. Okay. All right.
To me, it just goes,
you wanted it to pertain to maybe even on a more thematic level of a true.
You know what it feels like almost? It almost feels like it doesn't feel like this. This is not. But this is a comparison where I kind of go, there's a similar, like if it had been like, if the opening scene had been like, although this is going to make people mad because I'm like, this would be more related. If it started with like 9-year-old Lowell playing with trucks, and then there's a thing where listen where he has an experience, and then and then we cut, and then we go here, whatever. Yeah. Then it's like
little 9-year-old Lowell Bergman with his pen and paper,
running
around
going
the playground.
Like,
he was
what
like,
are you doing?
Who took the tennis ball at what time?
Yeah.
You were at the jungle gym.
Teacher, you're telling me
not
to.
One more
because
question.
The principal and the PTA. Yeah, like if it had started with that and then jumped in, I'd be like, that tells me about the character.
All right, I tell you what.
We don't
at the next South by when you bump into Eric Roth.
Yeah.
And then you say, "Hey, what's up? Big fan of your work." And then he turns around.
Yeah, this is why.
And then you do the other thing.
Yeah.
Do that.
Do this.
Pitch him that retroactively and be like, "So there's there. I really think you should have opened the Insider."
No, understand what I'm saying. Understand that I'm saying that's not how they should have. I'm saying that is similarly connected and feels the same way. Where I go, well, like they didn't ever, I don't know.
No, you're digging your own grave.
I'm not digging my grave. You're all crazy. Here's the deal. Gosh, this is becoming a weekly exercise in someone going, "You're crazy." And I'm going, "No, I'm not crazy." And they go, "You're crazy." And I go, "No, I'm not crazy." And they go, "Well, you're crazy. Why are you so mad?" This is what it is. That's what it is. You understand what I'm talking about? You feel differently. You understand what I'm talking about? You feel differently. That's it, right? So, say what you're gonna say.
I'm fascinated by what you're saying because I disagree so completely. So I'm now moved on to everybody's gonna have their own opinion. And even when I kind of objectively, I'm like, that's a perfect way to open the movie, and it does nothing wrong. And I think it aids in everything, and it's an exciting way to open it, and it does everything that good writing should do in order to set up a movie to start out going at 60, and before we ease into the normal story. But it's still tangentially related in terms of setting up characters in 60 minutes and the worldwide reach and the time period and everything within 4 minutes, and then you're just like, it doesn't work for me at all.
Not that it doesn't work for me at all. I see the function of it, and it takes me out of it to see the function of it, and then go. And my brain goes. When you say
function, though, I'm just like, well, then what? What did I like when you say that? I'm like, okay, so like, what isn't?
Because my
function.
What isn't function? What do you mean?
Like them in a, so they go and have dinner in a Japanese restaurant. I guess. And they're asking about each other's dads. You know what I mean? Like, sure. Is that function? Like, what's the function of that scene? It definitely serves a function. But the rest of it is... But, like, a whole movie is a function.
Yeah, but it all feels organic within itself. I guess
like, when you're writing, you're like, okay, I'm going to have them bond in this scene.
Totally. 100%. And then you gloss over it, or you cover it with art, and you mask it as something organic that's happening.
I mean, yes, but no. Like, I mean, writing's writing. Like, if it's two guys talking about their dads and how one hates his dad and the other one was assuming that or whatever, how do you mask that?
No. I guess what I'm saying is like, and you're right. Like definitely sometimes, and a lot of writing I think is just instinctual. And you go, this feels right here. This feels right here. This feels right here. Right. And like I think that's a scene that like either they were like. He was like, yeah, I'm putting this here. Or the scene that he had in mind, he's like, that feels good right here. Mm-hmm. And that's just sort of instinct. And it feels right, and it feels right in the movie to me. Mm-hmm. It all works. The beginning of it doesn't seem like something that was like, this feels right here. Mm-hmm. That just it feels like something that's going, here's who this guy is. Mm-hmm. And there are many, many scenes in many, many movies that go, here's where this guy is. And some of them, I go, I know, most of them, somewhere, I go, I know what you're doing. You're showing me who this guy is.
Like in Sorcerer, like when they do it 4 times in a row.
I don't remember Sorcerer. Good movie, though.
When they jump from, like, they show him planning the bomb in Jerusalem, and then they cut to them robbing the church and getting in the car wreck. Like, the reason why they all end up in the jungle and what they're escaping, what they're running from. Do you remember that?
No. I really
It's
like
very
that
hard
movie.
to do a stream in the sky. I don't know what to tell you.
It's a good movie.
Because we've spent an hour and a half on the first 4 minutes.
I know.
And now we're gonna have to race through the rest.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We can move on. We can move on. I just wanted to. I don't know.
We can't move on because
let's move on.
I feel very comfortable in my opinion.
It's good. So do I. It's good. Good.
I don't think you do. I think you're screaming inside.
Are you doing this to make me insane? You're doing this to make me insane. All right.
Because I'm looking at you in the monitor and you're like, it's fine. It's fine. And then your nose is bleeding.
I'm totally fine. You're all wrong and it's okay. Also, Fury Road and Heat are both amazing and awesome. Glad we got that all settled. Oh my gosh. It's so hard. It's so hard to be surrounded by people who have wrong opinions and then be polite about it and then express your correct opinion and have them be so terribly sarcastic about your correct opinion.
Type shit where you're just walking through the public square and you're like, you're turning into, I'm reading Watchmen right now.
Yeah.
You're Rorschach. You're just walking around and you're just like, it's fucking garbage and people are terrible and they're idiots and no one gets it. No one gets it. The whole world is wrong.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry for your.
Look, I get it. You know, I get it. You know what I mean, brother?
Yeah,
It is what it is.
Oh man. All right. Look. So there's this opening in the Insider, which many people just swallow and are fine with. Because they don't have any nuance or feeling of what fits together in a narrative. Is this better? Is this what you want? Because this is what I'm getting for expressing my opinion as politely and even temperately as I can.
Yeah, you did. You did a great job.
Thanks. All right. So anyway, moving on. There's this part that's fine.
Let's talk about
and is cool.
In Canada. He really loves jabbing you.
He really does.
He really likes jabbing you. He gets
really
in
fantastic.
there, right in the ribs. Okay. Look.
Anyway, so we move on.
I understand what you're saying. I really do. I get it. You're a cool dude. You're a good guy.
Nice. You got a good shirt.
You got a cool shirt
nice
on.
Shirt. That really cool.
You know,
I like you a
like
lot
your family.
in other situations. Yeah, it's great.
In almost every other facet of your life,
yeah.
I agree with you on almost everything.
Yeah.
You
can't smell salt and effort and impossible.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So Russell Crowe's, we jump across the world, and it's a big jump for him.
It is. It is.
And where are we at? Are we in Kentucky? I would imagine we're in Kentucky. And Russell Crowe has just been fired from his big tobacco job and goes home to his wife. And he's like, they're having dinner. He's like, I'm going to go out for soy sauce. She's like, that's weird.
I also wish we had started with Wygant in general.
Yeah, I could. Now, that's an argument I could understand. But it's a 50-50 movie. It's like, it's both their movies. You know, it really is.
Yeah.
So it's, you start with one, and it ends with him too. So they kind of almost frame it where it's Pacino.
But we spend so much time where he's the focus. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead. Why did that go so well? Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Seriously.
Because when you make logical he goes home, and he's like, I need soy sauce, like right in the middle of dinner. He's like, I'm gonna go get soy sauce, and she's like, what are you talking about? Why are you going? And then she's like, she's out of his car.
We established he's got two daughters. One of them has a medical.
A real functional scene.
This is not gonna work, I guess. I love when his wife starts freaking out about the house and the medical bills and money. She takes a moment. He's like, it's all covered.
It's like, why do we have to show that she has asthma by showing her like choking on a fucking teddy bear?
This is not gonna work. This is the end of it, guys. This is the last episode because no one.
You've like broken it down in such a way that I'm like, I'm like, when you say function, like the word function to me, I'm like, what isn't function?
No, all of it has a function. All of it has a function.
I feel like
Here's the deal.
I've like taken mushrooms
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like I'm seeing into the other world. And I'm like, what isn't function now?
Yeah.
Everything, because it's all function.
Well, most of the things.
Like even if it's just conveying emotion, not a story point, that's a function.
Sure, it has a function. It serves the function, right?
Okay.
When the function. So when the function.
Function junction.
Yeah, right. When the function is clear
Uh-huh.
and transparent,
Right.
and the rest of the thing about it is not is not drawing me in enough, or is not connecting with me for whatever reason, and the only thing I see is function, it takes me out of it.
Okay.
Because I go, this is a building block in this film, and that's fine. And then I go, cool, I know that. I'll just have to watch this, and then that part gets good. Yeah.
But like when you watch the asthma scene, because I feel like that's a good example.
Mm-hmm.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, because I'm drawn into it. I'm connected to it.
Because of because of the amalgam of everything, of where we're at, the characters involved, what's being portrayed.
And this is all.
Because to me, I'm just like, well, you could just say, well, the writers and director are clearly establishing that he has a daughter who suffers from severe asthma, right. Which isn't that ironic because he works at a tobacco
and it also
company.
To me it also very clearly serves the narrative function of needing the health insurance.
Health insurance.
Absolutely.
That's probably the main thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. Like, and again, the opening scene is definitely once it pops into the.
I just love that we started out. We were like, let's get into it.
It's great.
And then we like stopped instantly. Yeah. And now it's the whole podcast.
Yeah.
The whole street.
Well, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not even something. It's not even something I feel particularly.
I know, but why I'm interested in what you're saying, because now I want to use it to explore the rest of the movie in terms of like, and not in a kind
bring it back and be like, what's the deal with that?
Well, no, but like it's interesting because I'm just trying to understand. You said function, and that like stuck in my brain.
Yeah,
because it's all function.
It is. You know when you have a scene where you're like, this is here for exposition.
Yeah, half of Christopher Nolan movies.
Right. But he does it well.
I mean, so are you saying the opening?
No.
Because I would not say he does it nearly as well as what Michael Mann did in anything in any of his movies.
Sure.
Because he talks. Christopher Nolan talks.
Yeah, totally.
His exposition out.
Yeah,
that's not interesting.
No, it isn't. You're right. I don't know. I was assuming. Sorry. Yeah. I thought. Sorry. I assumed a place where you're coming from. Whatever. Any exposition movie, any of those Nolan films where it is exposition, and you're getting it, and you're like, it's exposition, but at the same time you're like, this is something because you're cluing me in on something that is in your head that's pretty complex that you need to give me.
Right.
And you go, okay, I know what you're doing, but it's also drawing me in because I need to know this and I'm interested by this, and it is inherently interesting what you're describing. Mm-hmm. And that kind of goes, and then you're like, that supersedes the need to do this in an organic way.
Sure.
It's fine.
That's what's so fascinating, because I know you. I think I've always known that. Like you. Like
it's not ideal.
I know, but like I have.
It's fine.
It's fine. Like when I know sometimes you just get in a writings, like you get into a corner where you're like, there's no way to get out of this, so we're just gonna have to dump it here and whatever.
It's like the opening scroll crawl on something like Lord of the Rings or like whatever, where they're like, this is a world that's different. If it gets us from here to the next awesome 45 minutes, let's go for it. I have no issue with that. I have no issue with myself doing it or other filmmakers doing it. Every great filmmaker of all, like everyone has had a scene of just complete exposition dump. Yeah. And this is not, and like in this opening scene is not. Gosh, we're still there. It's not exposition. It's character development. It's fine. It just feels like an island to me. It feels off to itself, and I go
like a James Bond opening.
No
kind of deal.
No, because James Bond openings. First of all, let's be clear. Like I'm not. they're different kinds of films, right?
Oh no,
And
no! I know
expect
that.
it
I know.
But a James Bond open. Oh, you're talking about like a recent James Bond?
Well, no,
Or
I
any
just mean
James
in
Bond?
general. It's like that's a cold open about a completely different mission.
Totally.
And then, but it's.
And we don't need it because we know who James
never
Bond
need
is.
it.
We
We
never
never
need
need
it.
it, yeah.
It just goes, here's something
It's
cool.
it's a cool way to open the
Yeah.
movie.
So if that's what this is here,
I think it is that.
then I don't want that in the
I
Insider
think
because it doesn't feel like the rest
I think
of
it's
the
an.
Insider.
I think it serves. It serves multiple things. It's like this is clearly they're like we want to start this in an exciting way.
Sure. Which I resent because I'm like, nah, just get me to the good stuff. I don't,
Okay.
I don't need
That's
you
all
to.
I need to know.
I don't need you to blow shit up for me.
I agree.
I'm sitting down for the Insider. I
It's
want
all
this.
that move to me. Well, I think it works well here, and I think I wouldn't change it. But it is a move that like someone like me trying to get his first movie made has to make, not Michael Mann and Eric Roth. When they can.
So you're saying
it feels more like a big. It's
do you
a move.
like it? Why do you like it? You like it because you feel like it's cool?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't feel cool. It just feels
Exciting or
It feels. I just feel like it does everything I said it did. It sets up a lot of things for me.
okay. I just
That I take over when he comes back to the States and when he's with his family and he's faxing him and stuff like that. I know instantly who he is as a person and how he operates.
I guess I just what I get from those scenes is he's a big deal. He's a smooth operator. Mike Wallace is a big deal. He's kind of a smooth operator. They're big deals because they're interviewing this guy and it's an exclusive. They say 60 minutes and I go, oh, 60 minutes. I don't know. I get things from it.
And like in the
again,
opening dialogue, he was like, can I see the questions before the interview?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you can't do that because that's not how 60 Minutes runs.
That's
You're
good.
going to get us because, and then he goes on this little rant about, and you set up
It's true.
his feeling on journalism that he assumes at this time reflects 60 Minutes directly, but then later in the film, he understands that it's just really his own personal.
I do like that. You're right. That is, and that is great. And it is like, yeah, because that's a thing, and that's a thing.
So
in
that's
journalism.
why it's just like it's not any one. It does a bunch of things, and sure you could change it, I guess, if you wanted to. But I don't. I think it does it so well, and it isn't exciting. It's just why not? They chose to do it that way, so I'm gonna go with it, and I have no issue with it. I like it.
Yeah, I guess
I'm sure, and I would love it if they did it a different way. That I was never aware of this version.
I do like parts of it. Mm-hmm. It's not even that I don't, and even the part stuff that I'm like, okay, like I've seen that and it's fine or whatever. Like, it's not, none of it's like poorly done, and I do like that. But that conversation can happen somewhere else. That I don't know. There's something about it that I don't know. It just feels
like if they had done
ancillary.
the entire scene beat for beat the same way, but they replaced the Iranian leader with someone, and it was set in Washington. It was set in Washington, and it was set with like the vice president of some major corporation. So it was more of a corporate thing, kept the corporate line. Yeah. But beat for beat, line for line, it was all the same shit.
Yeah. I
honestly work.
I think it would work similarly. I honestly think now that we're really talking about it a lot, I think I respond a lot to rhythm in films. Mm-hmm. And I think rhythmically, it almost, like we're about to spend so much time with Wygand, and he is the focus of the film, and Pacino's orbiting, and then he becomes very much the heart of the film and the focus of the film, and the way the film plays out.
You just would have liked it to have more of a focus, like just figure out.
I think
a way.
we start with Wygand, and I don't understand why we start with Pacino. I go, give me Pacino stuff when we get to Pacino. I don't want him. And it almost feels like it isn't, but it almost feels like we got to get Pacino in the beginning because Pacino's
and he was at the time.
What do you mean?
Compared to
Russell Crowe. No, of course.
This is pre-Gladiator.
I'm not saying this is why. Yeah. But like, it almost feels like, oh, that's an explanation. If it's like, well, we got to front load some Pacino because like we don't not, and I'm not saying anything. It's like if you have a movie star, you got to be like, well, you're here. We really spend some time with you here. You kind of you're in the background here, and then you come back, but you've got this, so it just feels artificial rhythmically for the film. We're going to spend so much time like. We spend so much time with Wygand that I feel like we should start with Wygand and we get to Pacino when we get to Pacino.
But it feels like we start with Pacino and then we follow Pacino back and then we're introduced to Wygand and then we focus on him, half and half. But he is a character that's coming into Pacino's life and then exiting Pacino's life at the end of the movie as he exits 60 Minutes entirely, which is why it begins and ends with him. So it's just, and it's a choice where it could have been vice versa, where they just start with Wygand, Pacino comes into his life.
So you're saying...
But that's the choice they made.
Because the way you're framing it, and maybe I don't know, maybe there is some level of expectations because I saw this as like, we're really going to be on Wygand, and like I was like, we're really gonna be on Russell Crowe, and Pacino is this sort of like mover and shaker behind the scenes.
That's what you thought going into
the movie.
Well, that's an expectation.
Sure, and the thing is that
that's a valid point too. It also shows that Lowell is able to get people to
I know
reluctant to talk on a show.
I totally get it. What's up? What's up, Bravey? I don't know because it's not like Pacino's the lead and Wygand is a supporting character, but it kind of
they're both. I would say they're equal leads.
Yeah.
But to say that somehow it's Wygand's story, that's not true.
No, it's not. I mean, like that, you don't get the whole picture. I mean, again,
it's his story completely wrapped up in Pacino's story.
Yeah.
Like it's both, and then what you're talking about in the second half, it becomes even kind of more his. But it's not. It's so intertwined, frankly, from the get go.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
After those first 4 minutes,
that's what I'm saying. The rest of the film is intertwined, but
it's before they meet
so hard with them. But then
you have to show them separately. He shows Pacino in his world, and he shows Russell Crowe in his world. And then they interweave. I mean, it's just it's boom, and then it's boom, and then it's boom again, and that's the structure of the movie.
You
gotta show them you gotta show them separately so you can introduce them.
I get you, but I think that I don't know, something about it. Yeah, I guess I
sit in it. Sit in that silence.
Don't do this. Don't. Why? You're better than this. You're better than this. No.
Let's get him in, Balak!
I'm not. No, it's not that I'm gotten. I can't believe this. Realistically, the opening, there's no way this sheik could leave that room without Pacino noticing dude's mean to be this super on the ball. Then he was in the big ass sheik completely goes to him. Yeah.
Do you know who the sheik was?
The actor?
Who was he? He looked really familiar.
I don't know. Yeah, no.
I want to say he was the villain in True Lies.
Could be.
And if he's not, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
What else is going on in this movie?
Nothing. This is all we're talking about.
Because we're like 6 hours from this moment in the movie.
I know.
It's behind us.
I'm trying to look that dude up. Yeah.
I was Jerry Garcia. Boy. So
you have to scroll way down in the cast because that part has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. Hold on.
It's such a curious critique.
Hezbollah had
because so many movies have openings or scenes that have nothing to do with anything regarding the rest of the plot.
I bet they like if they truly work and they've not and they don't stick out. It's either a movie where the majority of that movie is these isolated things, or it does connect in some sort of way, or if it does stick out, it's usually bad. I don't know. Yeah,
Like the opening of The Last Crusade.
that's not this. Yeah, sure. That's. I mean,
I
that's,
don't know. I'm just like I'm reaching in the dark. I don't know. Even know. I'm not making comparisons to make you to pivot my point upward. I just don't.
But The Last Crusade is like a James Bond film where it is like serialized.
Well, it's young indie.
Oh, right. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Sure.
And it is tangentially related in the sense that like that cross kind of comes back.
And he
into
meets
play.
his dad.
And he meets his dad.
I mean,
they introduced the dad.
And it's the dad relationship which plays through all the way through. The two people are connected.
It's like, And what does he say?
I can't remember.
Don't in Hebrew?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and then he has to do that at the end.
In Latin or something.
Yeah.
What does he say?
So it's superior. It is superior. That isolated that island of an opening bleeds through the rest of the film in very specific ways and thematically far more to me than this thing. Yeah.
How does All the President's Men open?
Yeah, I was trying to think of that. It starts with the Watergate break-in.
Very on point.
Yep. Because you know what the entire movie is about? The spiraling of events that come out of the Watergate.
No, I mean, because I really am. I'm like, I thought about Spotlight, and I was like, well, Spotlight opens with the priest getting bailed out of jail late in the evening by the church, and I was like, okay, that's on point. Yeah. That's related.
Giuseppina's work like that in real life. You see it in movies a lot where someone just throws one at somebody. That's all it takes to snare them.
I thought that you had to
been served.
You had to like. Which is why they lied to him and dressed up and shit like that, like people who serve people. I thought you had to get him to accept it first. Like you had to hand, like legally you had to hand it to him.
All you have to do is get the person to confirm their identity.
By, like, audibly?
Well, he just goes, hey, Jeff! And he goes, yeah? And he goes,
that's enough?
That's it. Which is why you'll see people in movies going like, hey, did we go to college together? We were in the something. What's your name again? He goes, yeah. And he goes, yeah, you've been served.
Gotcha.
That's it.
I always wondered because there's this great scene in Reno 911
really?
where short shorts and I can't remember their names. Dangle and the other guy with the bulletproof vest. They're trying to serve a guy in a parking lot, and he won't open his fists up. And they're like, "Are you?" And he's like, "He's like, I sure am." He's like, "You just been served," and he's like, "Nope, no, I'm not him." And then he just closes his fists up, and they spend like an insane amount of time running
really
through
funny.
cars and stuff.
Well, maybe there is something about that then.
But I mean, that's
really hilarious.
But it's very funny.
The guy who played the Shakes in New Zealand, Cliff Curtis, but Cliff Curtis is from New Zealand, right? He played the Mexican.
Yeah.
Training Curtis. He's not Cliff Curtis. You're saying he's the New Zealand version of Cliff Curtis, but the New Zealand version of Cliff Curtis is Cliff Curtis.
Did you not?
I know what you're saying. Cliff Curtis is a guy who is Kiwi, but plays like made a career playing Middle Eastern and Hispanic and all, just any version of. He's the new. You're saying, wait, you're saying he's Cliff Curtis? There's no way he's Cliff Curtis. Okay. There's no way that's Cliff Curtis.
I'm looking it up.
There's no.
Oh, it is. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
Cliff Curtis.
Cliff Curtis. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I gotta look at a picture of that dude. Seemed way older than he was at that time. I definitely know who Cliff Curtis is.
I mean, he's got such a thick beard on that. But yeah, that's him.
That's crazy, because I would have recognized him. Where is he?
We're so far behind.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, look.
The movie's real good.
I don't think we should go beat by beat through the movie. There's way too much to cover. Yeah. I'll say this. The movie is amazing.
It is fantastic.
And it's a fantastic look. And why I agree that the cigarette stuff with Big Tobacco, it's all fascinating and really interesting. When it makes the shift to... Look, Russell Crowe's character puts everything on the line. His marriage dissolves. He loses his family. He loses his house. Mm-hmm. He loses everything to go on 60 Minutes and tell the truth. Mm-hmm. And then CBS corporate comes down and tells 60 Minutes, if you air this, there's a really good, and you're wrong about anything whatsoever, or maybe there's something we're not even thinking about that could be wrong with this story. They mentioned tortious interference, and they had a good explanation as to what that was.
Which is basically where, well, they bring that up and they say that that they they did this. So they go through this whole rigmarole. So basically, sorry. So Russell Crowe's character has signed a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement. Which is not, I guess, uncommon when you leave a large company, so that he cannot take trade secrets or supposedly, ostensibly, trade secrets and give them to a competitor that he starts working for,
right?
Which would make him very valuable to that competitor and also hurt the business of the company that he's leaving. And that's generally the understanding of why that's done. Now he's saying, I have information about the way things were done that shows that they were negligent or even purposely obfuscating fact or things that could because they always played dumb and under oath they said, we don't know that cigarettes are bad for you. We just know we give the public what they want, but we don't know that, like, scientifically speaking, that they cause cancer or that we've done any studies to prove this when in fact that they had. Bravey Boy, this is not that movie. The movie. Oh, you're already talking about. Maybe you're talking about that. You're talking about Thank You for Smoking. You're talking about Thank You for Smoking.
That was a good movie too.
That is a good movie. It's very fun. The trade secret is the way in which they made nicotine even more addictive. In
right.
Absolutely.
Impact boosting.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And he goes so
with
he's
ammonia.
Like, yeah. And he's like, I have all these secrets, and he like initially is like reticent and won't tell Pacino all these. Pacino is the reporter. I mean, not the reporter, the producer, who's like trying to get him to kind of reveal this stuff in an interview. And he's like, I can't. And then he's like, but you want to. And then that was awful. And they kind of work behind the scenes and go, well, look, we can't. Like it's illegal for him to break his confidentiality agreement. Like they're going to shut us down. They're going to shut the interview down. The company will. They have enough money. They'll take us to court. Whatever.
He decides to do the interview. He's like, he gets so upset because they bring him back into the big tobacco building. And they're like, we want you to sign a broader confidentiality agreement.
Right.
And he takes because he's kind of a hothead. And he takes great offense to this and he tells him, fuck you. And he gets out and he leaves. And he calls up Pacino immediately and he's like, I want to do the interview immediately.
Right. And he feels like he's been threatened.
Yeah. And Pacino even says, he's just like, yeah, he feels like he's been threatened. His family's been threatened.
Right.
So that's what caused him to get so mad. He calls Pacino and he's just like, I want to do the interview now. Pacino notably says, we can't do that yet because you have a confidentiality agreement. He says, I don't care. I want to go on camera now.
Run it whenever you want.
And then you can run it whenever we figure out how to legally do it. But I want to go on camera now.
Yeah.
And that's how it all kind of starts. So he goes to New York. He does the interview. And then they figure out a loophole where if he testifies outside of Kentucky, the confidentiality agreement...
He's compelled to do so by law. And there's a lawsuit going on in another state.
In Mississippi.
Where they're kind of like...
Where three other lawyers who decide to represent him are trying to go against Big Tobacco in some big lawsuit.
It's like an ongoing lawsuit. And then they can summon him as a witness, compel him legally to break his confidentiality.
And then it's on public record.
And then
once it's on public record,
they can
go for it. As long as that information that's in the interview is and they all work together to make sure that happens.
Right. Now I wonder if I don't know. I wonder there should be some sort of some sort of stipulation or something where like a confidentiality agreement can be broken in the interest of the public or something.
And I want to say that, and this could be
as a result of this.
I want to say that, or not even of the film, but more of Jeffrey Wigand in particular, and that could be completely wrong. Yeah. But I want to say that
there's a Wigand law or something like that.
Yeah. Or something came out of that years later that they did do that. Yeah.
I like the scene showing Lowell sniffing out the story with Wigand, like they're back and forth with the facts from these intense. Those exciting facts scenes.
Yeah. It is.
And it is very. It's reminiscent of a sort of similar scene in
Lost in Translation.
in Lost in Translation. In All the President's Men, which is great.
Yeah.
That scene. I love it. And those back and forth faxes are awesome. Wigan's Law, like Lorenzo's Oil, right?
Did you ever watch Burke's Law?
Is that a show?
It was like Diagnosis.
Attractive lawyers.
Did you ever watch Diagnosis Murder?
I did not.
Oh, that was like with Dick Van Dyke, which was just like
I'm aware.
It was just like he was a doctor at solving mysteries,
Sure.
which was just like Murder She Wrote. Yeah. And Burke's Law was in the same camp.
Nice.
And it had a cool opening called Burke's Law. Dun, 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 dun.
Sounds very nice.
And then it did the Law and Order thing, apparently.
Shade. Yeah, who was the guy? Who's Burke?
I cannot remember, but he was really tan. He looked very Hollywood.
Oh, was it not like an established? Wasn't a Dick Van Dyke level?
It came on like it was Diagnosis and then Burke's Law. Dude, if I could find Burke's Law on streaming,
it's like the hacking scene in The Social Network. The hacking scene in The Social Network. What's the hacking scene? Like I remember when he's like putting out the first.
Dude, Burke's Law was only on for one season. Why is that such a big part of my childhood? Starring Gene Barry. This is it for sure.
Wow.
94 to 95, so 2 years.
Is that Warren Beatty on the right? Certainly not, but
no.
Maybe from the angle.
That is absolutely it. Huh. I thought that was a way bigger show. All right,
darling. My daughter's upset about something. Clearly,
I can tell.
Sorry. Anyway. So this all relates back because the 60 Minutes gets behind the scenes and they start kind of thinking and they go, maybe if this happens, then we can, if it becomes public record, then we can do this.
And then it all happens.
They do all these wheels.
They do all these things. They turn, and this guy's life during all this, his life is just getting dragged through the mud.
Yeah. And
his wife is like, what are you doing? Why would you do this? She didn't tell him she's going to go on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff. She leaves
they
him.
Start getting death threats.
She started getting death threats.
She moves because she's terrified for the safety of her family and daughters, and I understand that.
And he risks it all because he's just like, I want it, like, there's just these really poignant moments, and they're very small throughout the movie where, and this kind of comes, we'll talk about the big scene here in a minute.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
But it's like, they're just moments when Pacino reassures him, like, you're a good guy, and you have something important, like you're valuable.
Yeah.
And you can tell in those moments, usually on phone calls, and you can tell in those moments, it happens like twice that I can remember. And the look on his, like it's beautiful acting by Russell Crowe because he's just, you can tell it, he needs to hear that. Because you can tell that he
feels so incredibly alone.
Incredibly alone, and I think he feels like he let down his family by his, like, I took the easy money, which I'm ashamed of.
Right.
And now I don't even have the easy money, so now I can't get a job anywhere else as a doctor or as a scientist.
And I'm putting my family in jeopardy.
So I can't provide for my family now, which was the whole point in the first place, to kind of sell my soul, as it were. Mm-hmm. And so when Pacino tells him that, it's just like one of those things, a very human moment where he's like, you matter, and you're a good dude.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of like his shame and stuff is where his personal conviction of like willing to like give up his family, willing to be divorced, because he's just trying to get some redemption so he can live with himself type stuff. You know what I mean? And I think that's where that stubbornness. I mean, I never took walking away from that movie. I was never like, what a selfish guy to do that. You know what I mean? Even in the grander picture of like to save people's lives, I never even took that I always thought he wanted to do it not so much because he believed that the truth needed to be out there, which I do believe that, but I think that was almost like a side effect of him being like, I need to do this for myself. First and foremost. Yeah. And obviously I want the truth to come out because it's going to affect a great deal of people, but I always thought he needed to do it first and foremost for himself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because he believes in right and wrong, essentially. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And he's tired of being a puppet.
Sure. When he tells Lowell he's in a hotel and you can see the 10th floor, the legal floor of his life, and Lowell knows he's in a bad place and he starts taking him down a real subtle. Yeah, it's great. It really is great.
That's my favorite.
It's so beautiful.
That's my favorite scene in the movie. And when he brings the manager up there, he's like, tell him to get on the fucking phone. He grabs the phone. And they're talking about that. He's like, "That's where they fucked with my life on the 10th floor."
And he's like, "All the lights are off except for that
for the floor where they fucked with my life."
They're working around the clock.
And then they have their back and forth, and they're yelling at each other. And then there's just this one moment, and I fucking cried when there's just this lull in the argument, and he just goes, "Look, man," he's just like, "I'm running out of heroes, man."
Yeah.
And he just says it almost exhausted.
Yeah.
And then Russell Crowe's like, "Yeah, I'm running." Or he retorts.
He's like, "There aren't a lot of you guys left," and he goes, "Yeah, there aren't a lot of guys like you left." And he goes, "Yeah, not many like you either."
Yeah, and it's so. Yeah. I mean, it is soul crushingly beautiful to me, and the complete emotional apex of that movie leads to that moment that you can tell. Because Michael Mann is so smart about how he uses music that he structured that whole scene to the music. So when the piano beats hit here and here and here, it would hit right between lines of dialogue in such a smart way. And because it's a known piece. So I know that he sourced it and then placed it there and then structured the scene around it. And it's beautiful. Yeah. It's a masterclass.
That's a great, fantastic scene, and the performances there, and there's that emotional core, and then there's a moment later that gets me, and that's the one that made me go. We'll get to it in a second, I think. Also, there's that lawyer who basically reads his mind and tells me, I like that scene too. Fiore, I guess. Tells him all the things he's worried about, and then Wygant gives him that small. He's like, I know you're going through this and that, and very, very specific things. The
guy, the pilot, the pilot lawyer.
Oh, maybe
when they first see him, he's just this is
Oh,
blah, 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 blah.
Is it the district attorney guy?
Yeah,
maybe.
He's like, you're wondering about your health care.
And he's like, very. I can't remember what
the look on Russell Crowe is doing some really subtle stuff here that's really heartbreaking and beautiful.
Yeah, the small... Gosh, what is happening? Oh, sweetheart. It's just she's tired.
Start mouthing to him.
Yeah. Darling. Anyway, all this stuff. So they boop, 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 boop. They get the wheels turned and get him in court so that it is the public record. Then, as they're about to air the thing, Gina Gershon comes in.
And CBS
with everything but a writing crop, and she's like, "Pow!"
Yeah, she is real.
Yeah. And she's like, and she goes,
"We can't air this."
And she's like, "This tortious interference is where they did all this stuff to get him to make it possible and kind of sort of not coerce him, but sort of
they provided a platform.
The wheels, and they're like, hey, here's this idea, maybe you can do that. And so they interfered with his breaking
and they can
of
get
the
him on that,
confidentiality. Yeah, exactly.
So they tell him that they're going to have to run the show about Big Tobacco without the interview, and Pacino is irate at because what that dictates is, okay, big media, big corporate media, big corporation is now telling the news how to do its job out of its own personal interest.
Because what's fantastic about that is that he then goes downstairs. He gets he gets on the horn with Debbie Matzar, who's like, gopher among gophers. She's awesome. I mean, she's not a gopher. She's just like bam, 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 like on the spot. She's like, here's all the information you need. He gets out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning at one point.
Yeah.
Or 3 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, give me this information. Then the next time they come in, they go, look, hey, we're deciding to go. We're going to go with them and blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to do this. And he goes, really? Is it because, he's like, we did some digging and we're in the middle, CBS.
We know you're in a big merger with
Westinghouse is about to buy you. And and he lays it out and is like, well, are you concerned that this and this and this
he
would
says,
jeopardize this big purchase of CBS?
Yes.
And he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, and it's so great. It becomes this wonderful...
Which would profit the two CBS individuals who are telling them that they can't...
the exact two executives.
The exact two are going to make millions
Gina Gershon and,
from the deal.
And the other dude, I can't remember. Yeah, and it's like... It's so great, and it has this
Great
wonderful, like almost meta effect. That's like It's such a specific situation that it would be hard to achieve this in any other film. But it has this effect of like, because we're dealing with like reality, right? Like we're dealing with the real world, and then like the reporting of the real world by this by CBS, right? We kind of, I don't know, like to me it's almost like if they turn to the camera, and they go, and you're telling this movie in this way because of your corporate interest with like Universal or whatever. Right. It almost has this like, you go, oh dang, we just went like a level deeper.
Yeah.
And like now the thing that was reporting on this, I mean, I'm not explaining it correctly, but it's so great. It drops into this, it goes a level deeper, and kind of, it's almost like, it almost has the effect of like exposing an unreliable narrator sort of thing, where it's like, oh man, the framing for this storytelling, these people we trusted, I mean, it like, we dig into their conflict of interest is fantastic. It's so fancy. He's like, when Mike says I'm with him, he just walks out.
And it's a great moment.
He's what a great. This is an all-time great Pacino.
It's one of his
character,
truly like one of my favorite performances of him.
Yeah,
because like everything he does in this movie, like even when he's so pissed, I think it's right after this scene, and he like goes out on the roof and it's kind of rainy, and he's just making a couple of phone calls. I think they used the image of him on the roof as the poster for a lot of the marketing. He just sells it all. Yeah. He sells it all in such a beautiful way. It's such a natural, lived-in performance. Yeah. He's loud when he needs to be loud, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Christopher Plummer is amazing. Amazing. God. And he's like, and it's so funny.
He is amazing.
He is amazing. And it's so funny because we end up almost like, I was amazed because they were using CBS, but also particularly because they were using Mike Wallace. And in some parts kind of like almost circumstantially vilifying him, just kind of being like, he's the guy who sells out.
And he was very close with Michael Mann throughout production, and they even offered him the part. He was like, do you want to play yourself?
That's incredible.
I know! That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
And like he even went to dinner to meet Michael Mann for the first time with Lowell Bergman. And because Michael Mann and Lowell Bergman had been friends prior to this, and they were actually working on another project.
Oh wow, that's great.
They were working on another project together as all this stuff was happening. Yeah. And Michael Mann eventually was just like, "What? Why are we even focusing on this? Like, let's do your story. This is much more interesting than the story we're writing together."
That's crazy.
Yeah. But so Mike Wallace was actually, he decided to meet Michael Mann to talk about it, but then Michael Mann was late to dinner, and so Mike Wallace left early, and he was just like, I'm leaving. Yeah. And he turned to Lowell Bergman.
Yeah.
And how we doing?
Say those first 5 minutes are BS. No, sorry that happened. Are you okay?
Do we need to just... Oh, okay. I see what's going on here.
Oh, it broke. That's what happened.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it just broke. Well, all right. We're not gonna... Oh, it's breaking more. Yeah, I think this is... Yeah. Oh, it's also stuck on something. Hey, guys. Put us on Twitch fails. Put us on Twitch fails. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's just not going to work. We're just not going to have a green screen for the rest of it.
Look, you guys are going to see behind the curtain the wizard.
All right. All right, hold on. You talk. I'll just...
Yeah. He murdered it.
Yeah, man. Tired of it.
But the good thing is it's pretty easy to dispose of because it's invisible. What happened? Oh, the duct tape. I see what happened.
Yeah, because it's a dowel rod.
Oh, well, now we're just in a room.
Yeah, this is... How about this? Here we've got... Hold on. Boom. Nope. Oh, no.
Because we don't have a green screen.
It only works with a green screen.
You were so kind. You're like, don't worry about it. I got this.
It's not that the image fell down. Yeah.
I'll just turn to the standard filmography logo.
You're right.
Wait a minute.
Well, this is interesting. Cozy blanket for the both of you. Yeah. We got some drums back there. This is all cool. Hey, you okay? It didn't hit you, did it?
No.
Good. All right.
I'll
try
play
harder.
that back. Is there a Twitch? Is there like a Twitch fails? Put it on there.
Yeah,
That's
awesome. Cozy green blanket with Michael Mann's face on
I don't even know what you're talking about. Oh, Mike Wallace. Anyways, he was close to the production, and then he wasn't. And once he saw the final movie, he was real pissed.
Oh, well, it's interesting because this is hilarious. Part of the green screen on the ground is reflecting part of the thing that should be showing. So watch this. Hold on. If we spread it out more. Yeah. Yeah,
Just
whatever.
lay it out on the ground.
Yeah. So just at least the ground will be. Yeah, there you go. This is what we did.
Yeah, why don't we just
That's
lay it in
good.
front of us?
I think that's a good idea. We'll use it as a blanket. But what's interesting too is and I understand because you kind of go like as you watch it you go dang like Mike Wallace man like they're making him look.
But he didn't
bad.
come off as a bad dude.
No, he doesn't. And what it is that Lowell Bergman comes off as
the most
as like a
full like
he's killing. He's like a Roman
integrity,
hero.
Yeah, there's integrity bursting out of his eyeballs.
Yeah,
this is cozy.
This
as
is awesome.
Shit.
And what and
whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
so
yeah, okay.
half an hour ago.
Exactly. What do I?
It's
got?
like Pacino. What do you? Or what's Russell Crowe think about that?
Yeah. Oh, come see a 30-year-old Foot of Grunts. It's a great band. We love it.
I don't know about that. We should switch because you do a way better Pacino than I do.
Wait,
My Pacino sounds like Columbo.
Wygan's got a great ass. Yeah.
Anyway,
he just comes off as a normal person. Like he is a reasonable person. He's trying to. He's
trying to take it bit by bit,
and he's playing middle of the road essentially.
He's playing middle.
And he's like, I'm being reasonable. I'm also kind of whatever. He's also like, and several of the executives kind of they're like, we're talking about the future of CBS.
Yeah,
like, it may be destroyed.
Done. Yeah, and they give him a wonderful scene at the end where he's talking about he's like what you think about when you get towards the end of your life, not the beginning. Mm-hmm. And how you start thinking about what you're going to leave behind and the legacy you're going to leave, and how he didn't want to be remembered as the guy who torpedoed CBS as a whole. Right. And I will say this: it ramps up the integrity aspect on Pacino's character so much that they do kind of throw Michael. In my opinion, they kind of throw him under the bus a little bit,
sure,
just because he's not as holier than thou as Pacino is,
sure.
Which is a little unfair because what they did, they massaged Pacino's real or Lowell Bergman's story a bit for the movie to make him seem even more,
Don Pacino, yes,
admirable.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
So he was pissed. Their relationship in real life with Mike Wallace and Lowell Bergman never recovered.
From this movie?
From this movie.
Interesting.
They had a complete falling out, and then when Mike Wallace died, they interviewed Lowell Bergman, and he had some very nice things to say about him, but at the same time, he was like, look, he was who he was, and I loved working with him. He was a legend, and he was an incredibly hyper-intelligent and very wickedly funny man, and then he was like, I was like, oh, you really are like how Pacino is in the movie. He was like, you're just you just give it like it is because you don't want to lie.
Yeah.
And so he was very nice, but also very like, and we had a lot of disagreements.
Because my word means something.
And because they asked him about the situation.
Oh yeah.
And he was just like, I don't feel like he did everything he could have, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's interesting. And but I mean, but there is that like, I mean, where they were coming from, it was like, well, this story, or the entire network, like that is, you know what I mean? It's like that to them possibly was potentially the trade-off because a lawsuit could be levied that would bankrupt the company and not allow them to,
and that's what makes
produce news anymore. But
But at the same time, you're not reporting the news.
Exactly. Like you're
and it's not like it was.
Don't worry about it being compromised in the future. It's being compromised right now, and you're giving into corporate interests.
You're giving into corporate interest at the expense,
and you're being afraid of,
and you're at the expense
of the truth
of not only the truth, but the truth that could save
absolutely
millions of lives.
Absolutely.
And that's honestly. That's the big get of this movie is the fact that it's not just laying down, and I think that's why Pacino's character is so infuriated. It's like, you don't understand. It's twofold for him. It's kind of threefold. But on one level, he's like, how am I supposed to get sources now?
Yeah.
He's like,
True.
I can't. Yeah. I can never do that ever again. Right. It's broken.
After I hung this dude out to dry.
Yeah. When he quits, he says, what got broken here is never going to go back together again because I'll never be able to get a source working with this company ever again.
And also once once they've sullied their sure.
And then on the other level, it's the fact that they're laying down and letting a larger corporate interest dictate what the news is and what you can and cannot report, which is mortifying in and of itself, but truer now than it ever was. And then, the last thing is that, the actual story they were reporting, it's fourfold because
it's the man.
It's the man.
It's the person's life.
It's the person who's
destroyed.
Went out on a ledge for them at his beck and call because he said CBS had his back, and then they let him. Like they destroyed his life.
Yeah.
And then the fact that it could save millions of lives if it would work, possibly millions of lives.
Just so shareholders can earn an extra million or two,
right?
Sure. And but again on the other, like they were afraid of a lawsuit that would bankrupt them. But it's like, well, then what are we doing here? If we're gonna be like, we're not gonna go after the powerful, we're not gonna go after these powerful guys because they have the power to kind of hurt us for it, and it's like
incredibly dangerous precedent.
It's like, then what are we doing? Those are the people we need. If they have the kind of power that silences voices, those are the people we need to fight. Like, yeah. So,
and to be fair, CBS did say it's like we will air the episode.
Yeah,
it's like we'll air the episode. That was actually never not the consideration. Mm-hmm. It was, we will air the episode.
Yeah.
We just cannot do it with his interview. Yeah. It will just strictly open us up to legal, which is an interesting thing to think about because it's just like they're not saying no.
Yeah.
And they're not saying...
But they're not naming the company, and they're not naming him.
Oh, is it the company too?
Because they're bleeping out he's like, you work for a big tobacco company. Yeah. I mean,
that's not great.
Yeah. And I love the old man. I love these journalism movies where they get confirmations by going, you just tell me. He's like, we know this, just confirm it or deny it. Or this,
He's like, I'll tell you if you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say you're wrong.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay.
He's like, so it's not? He goes like, did I say you were wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
It's fucking great.
I just love this stuff.
Me too.
We need to do, and I wish.
Me too. I fucking love this stuff.
We're gonna do a journalism week. We'll do all the President's Men. We can do Spotlight. We'll do
we'll do Spotlight.
Yeah.
Don't fucking.
I said that.
Yeah. You also usually we'll do Spotlight.
Yeah, we can do Spotlight. Sounds great. We'll do this. I don't dislike it. Here's the other one. Shattered Glass.
Cool.
Have you seen that one?
No. Very excited.
It's great. Smaller scale, but great.
Does it have a kick-ass opening?
Yeah, you'll love it. It's young Lowell Bergman with a bullwhip on a train flying through Iran.
I just want to know where Lowell Bergman got that chin scar from. That's all I care about.
That is pretty awesome. Zodiac. Zodiac is I feel like that goes into. That's like less about the. I mean, it's about a journalist as opposed to about journalism. I think that's what
I think it falls into it. It's more of a procedural, but you can see the influence of All the President's Men is Fincher's favorite movie.
Is it?
Yeah. Which is why that's why he did Zodiac in the first place.
All the President's Men is also my favorite.
I know. Oh yeah, they don't know, but I know, because I fucking know, guys. This guy's my fucking friend.
It's just we need to be careful how to cut. We're making fun of the way that they're presented.
Yeah, sorry.
In context,
it's just that is such a. Also, Bay. This movie was made in '99.
Agreed.
So
I said that earlier.
Michael Bay saw this movie and was like, "Oh, I'm going to do that for the next 7 movies." all Transformers.
Yeah.
Doesn't
that's
really
right,
correlate,
Transformers doesn't-
but like whatever. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then I'm put like way more filters on it, so it looks like cool.
Yeah.
Orange, teal.
Anyway. So we get into that, and the best part of the movie to me is where they drop into this sort of second layer of like, well, where does our integrity lie, and what is the tenor of our integrity, and it's just fantastic. You get all these different layers of people willing to go this far but not this far, and then Lowell Bergman is he's like, just like, no, I'm out.
If it's not all in, then what is it?
Yeah, exactly. That's great. It's fantastic.
And that's a real, I gotta say, I finished watching. I was like, I'm fucking ready to go make another documentary. It got me fired up.
Yeah.
But it's something that you run into all too often. Like, I just did a documentary about a band struggling with music labels.
Yeah.
And management and shit like that. And, I work with a lot of the people that they're criticizing in the film.
Right.
And that was a big struggle for me to do that.
Yeah.
And
personally and professionally.
Personally and professionally, because I know a lot of the people, and you're just like, but it's not. And what I did, and this is just me, and maybe this isn't the most highly.
You Mike Wallace did. No, I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be called.
I was like, I'm with him, and I was like, who are you talking to? You're by yourself. I chose to frame it in from completely subjective, from the band's point of view entirely.
Yeah.
And then just show everything that happened as it was.
Yeah.
And just instead of using any specific names, because legally we could not do it.
Right.
So it was actually a very similar experience, but we still got the emotional roller coaster ride that they went on and what they experienced on the thing, and that's all I was after. But I learned a lot in terms of those type things, and verdict's still out if they're what the label's gonna say to it when they finally watch it.
Oh wow!
But
I can't wait to see this thing, man.
It's good. I'm excited about it. I'll be curious what other people think.
Yeah.
I like it. It's good.
I'm gonna be like, it's really good. I don't feel like you needed the shake part. I don't know why. You're just gonna go home and
that's why I just was like, well, no, why do you not like that it opened in a desert in Iran? Because I
literally just lifted the opening of the Insider and put it at the beginning because I just thought it was a really good opening.
Thought it was a really cool opening.
What good way to
I went there on my own dime to recreate it. Just love that.
Hired Cliff Curtis. Real nice guy.
But yeah,
sweetheart.
Like Cliff Curtis. I just we'll see. We'll see what happens, and but I know that and for me it's more just like a pragmatic thing. Like if they come back and they're like, well, you have to change this and this, and I'll be like, well, I can't, because there's no other way for me to make that movie.
Yeah.
And to make it anything else I would lose complete interest in why I wanted to make it in the first place.
Sure.
Which is show like a kind of mid-tier band working within a major label system, and the art versus commerce aspect that they struggle with themselves,
sure, as
well as outside forces and struggling with that as well.
Sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's all right.
Watch out for it. It's called She Doesn't Know.
Dude, the band dresses just like
Keaton.
They went full Keaton.
They just they went into like a kind of like a high-end thrift store and just ran through the racks. Came out the other end.
Where did that style? Like, I think it's
her.
Awesome.
It's Annie Hall. It's like she did it.
That was her.
It's her.
Yeah.
The big
really
big
cool.
hat, tie, kind of dressed like a clown.
I did not
in a mean way, like dressed like a clown.
Yeah.
Like she's dressed like a clown, sort of.
Did she do Reds before or after Annie Hall? Have you seen Reds?
Yeah, Reds was 82,
and Annie Hall was 70.
77. I don't know.
I did not and this sounds terrible, but I didn't recognize her in Annie or in Reds because it's a period piece and she had to dress the part, and I was like, oh, she's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I've always thought she's beautiful, clothes or not, but it's just
better without the clothes, if you know what I'm saying.
No, sorry. It's interesting that because of the way she dresses, I never like she hides. That's why I initially brought up. She hides.
Oh, you're saying she was in something more form fitting, and then you could tell. I get it. I get where this guy's coming from.
Look, what are those like wooden things that would shape the dress called? Like they would.
I think they called them Jeffs.
So stupid. You're an idiot. That's the worst joke, but it made me laugh. Because there was no creativity behind it. You were just like, they called him Jeffs. You said it with such confidence.
Because you want to be in charge of how a woman dresses and how she shapes her body. Yeah. How does it feel?
Do you say shapes her body?
Shapes her body. Hold on. How does it feel if someone takes something totally innocuous that you said, turns it makes you terrible, really pulls a Mike Wallace on you, makes you look like Mike freaking Wallace, the lowest of the.
Slides right off my back.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Right off my back.
Yeah. No problem.
I feel less stressed.
Yeah. Good.
Because of how completely unhinged you've become.
Yeah. I thought it would come.
Look at us. Is this what you wanted?
This is definitely what I wanted. By the way, Mike Wallace is a bastion of I don't know. I don't really know Mike Wallace much. But he's a
don't
legend.
talk like you know who Mike Wallace is.
I mean, I did, but I
He was like, oh, I loved, those pieces that he did, all the things.
I heard about him. It was the one with the shape.
You know which one I did like? The one with the shape. A lot of issues with that one.
Yeah, I remember I watched The Paper. I kind of,
Papers! Michael Keaton, Ron Howard. Fucking great newspaper movie. We got to do that one. Mainly because I haven't seen it since I was a kid. But I remember loving it.
I never really
and being kind of like the first one that got me into journalist movies.
I'll watch it.
It might not be good.
I'll watch it.
But I remember.
I didn't dig it the last time I saw it. The first and last time I saw it.
Is it a comedy?
It's a little of both.
I remember
I feel like it's a little light on the journalism, more on the like romantic comedy.
Oh, is it?
Of it. But
I just remember them like trying to get to press.
Yeah.
And like they're in like the room where all the things are.
I love that he goes,
awesome.
you got like he's like like Michael Keaton's like whatever. He's like we're gonna change the edition. We're gonna And Randy Quaid's like, you gotta say it. Michael Keaton's like, stop the presses! It's great. That part's good. It's super light, but Michael Keaton is so great. Yeah, I just feel like it doesn't. I feel like it's a different film. It's not quite at the. But
Chris Wallace is Mike Wallace's son.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
I don't know who Chris Wallace is. It's not nuanced enough. Yeah, Block. You could say that. No, it's probably nuanced fine in the terms of a. I just feel like it's not. It's not. It's been years since I've seen it. We're not starting this again. I just feel like it's not about the journalism as much.
Yeah, those first 4 minutes are real light on the journalism.
Everybody have a good time. Everybody take some shots. Take some shots because I saw through some narrative scaffolding there. That goes good. All right, good stuff. Gosh, I can't.
I would love for you to go to a Q&A with Michael Mann and say and like just lob that out there and be like, do you ever have any regrets about those first 4 minutes? And he's just like, fuck you,
because he knows. Because he's like, I didn't think. I didn't think
I'm
anyway.
sorry. No, it's
I didn't
like,
think anyway.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Then he goes, yeah. Also, here's some notes there. Hold on. So we're kind of getting to the end.
So let's round it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go in 10 minutes.
Cool. By the way, Reds 1981, Annie Hall 1977.
Okay, gotcha. Have you seen? So you've seen Reds?
Yes.
It's great. Great movie. She's great in it. Jack Nicholson is fantastic in it. He's that
is
poet.
Eugene O'Neill? No.
Yeah.
Is it Eugene O'Neill? Yeah.
Was it Eugene O'Neill like an alkie?
He's a writer.
Yeah. It's actually one of my favorite Jack Nicholson performances, and it's a complete supporting thing. He's only on screen for like 20 minutes. It's great. Anyways, they end up... So they air it without the interview. And then time passes. They manage... What happens legally?
It's the climax. It's the most it's great. Oh, it's so great. Pacino goes to the New York Times and tells them the inside story of CBS not airing that. And then they have just like
he tells it to the
so
Wall
many
Street
great-
Journal and the New York Times and because they tried to do a smear campaign and he's just yeah.
And it's that scene that they have in all these really truly fantastic journalism movies where it's like in the morning and the papers are being handed out. I love it.
It's great.
You know what the other one we should do is be a good companion. Whatever. But I loved the Post. Did you see the Post?
No.
I really liked it.
Okay, I'll watch it.
I liked it.
It's one of my favorite genres is newspapers.
So do I. That's interesting because I went to journalism school and wrote for a newspaper. I don't know why you're interested, why you dig it so much. But I love it.
It's one of those things that like I think
it's
why I like
it's so romantic. It's about integrity. It's about the truth. It's about people with like underdogs with rolled up shirt sleeves who don't really get much of the glory.
And it's real. It's just
digging and working for the common man. It's what attracted me to journalism.
I agree.
Yeah, it's great.
It's why I like documentary. As I get older, I get more and more into documentary filmmaking because I'm like, there's just something that you'll never, even the greatest and I love narrative stuff. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But there's something, and I love watching documentaries. Yeah. But making them, you just feel. You're like this. Like mine was about music. It doesn't really mean anything, but boy, did it feel like I was like, this is something real.
Absolutely.
And I figure I don't think it's like the most perfect thing, but like I'm really proud of just like I was like that is a document of that experience, and that's cool.
I've never seen an uninteresting documentary in my entire life.
Yeah, because it's all real,
and that's something honestly. In reporting and interviewing people and stuff, because it is the same. It's very related. Documentary filmmaking and journalism are very very related. I mean, there's a lot of the same stuff at play. And I was like, in interviewing people for as long as I did, I kind of was like, if you take any person on earth, any person, and talk to them for long enough, you will unearth something that is fascinating, incredibly compelling, and universal. And that's great.
And that's that thing, that universal aspect of even the most outlandish story and how when you relate to some, it's just beautiful.
The person, and it carries over to. I mean, that's a basic, kind of at the heart of filmmaking tenet as well, where it's like where the personal is universal. The almost the more personal specific you get,
the more universal it becomes.
In some ways.
And for me, I love documentaries about like really crazy outlandish stories and things like that. But sometimes they just focus on one character that is unique in one specific way that's not particularly remarkable or anything like that, but they really get in there and you get to know the person. Those are some of my favorite ones.
That's great.
Yeah.
So then he gets basically by leaking the story of the internal strife of CBS and then sort of the internal decision to not air this part of the interview into the public sphere anyway. Then they just kind of go, well then, and that those stories have sort of have the facts of the story or the details of the case, in it.
And didn't one legal thing happen too? Didn't the guy, the airplane lawyer, call him at the base of like the courthouse, and he was like, "Well, I sure wish." And he's in Montana at this point for the Unabomber. And he's like, "Look, man, I'm about out of moves here." Like he's like, "If I'm being honest with you, I'm about out of moves." Yeah. He's like, "It sure would be great if they could air that interview." And he's like, "I don't see how." And he called him because he was like, "Something just happened legally. Yeah. That we're good to go." Like, he's completely good to go in terms of tortious interference. Like, you can air it now. So I know that they had the legal. They were cleared legally for some reason. I feel like.
Oh, that's interesting. I possibly, but I think
it was twofold.
I think after that conversation is when he leaks the story because he goes, "I'm out of moves," and then he goes, "Unless," and it's brilliant. It almost goes another. You just go, "Wow!" The answer was to go. I am out of moves. I'm just going to tell the story of being out of moves. Yeah. In the face of this situation, I'm going to take this. It's like this situation is is kind of putting a gag order, is stifling this story. So I'm going to tell, and I can't tell this story because of this situation. So I'll tell this situation, which opens up. I mean, it's great. It's brilliant. It's really great. It's such a. That's why I love this part of the film so much.
Yeah.
Because it becomes this thing where you go, oh, I didn't know I was getting that.
Yeah.
Because the whole first part of the thing was about this, which was also great, and then it goes even deeper. And then the first 4 minutes,
it's all based on true, like real stuff.
Some bullshit in the desert that didn't have anything to do with anything, and you go, I'm so glad this movie continued going for the next 5 minutes.
Guys, he's really coming around on this opening.
There we go. Hi guys. He's out of moves. You know he wasn't out of moves. My main man Wayne Grow. And the investigator Lowell asked to evaluate the dossier against Wygand. Oh, the AG Wright. The AG Wright. Yeah. Is the real Attorney General of Mississippi. Like, like the actual, and I was like, it's not bad.
He's in the real 60 Minutes piece as well. Yeah.
And he just goes,
hey, I'm famous.
I'll be seeing myself. And the investigator Lowell asked to evaluate the dossier against Wygand as a real dude.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. So.
That's the investigator. I thought that guy was the head of a, you're talking about the head of like ABC or whatever, or like the other network. I'm confused. Well, whatever.
No, the husband-wife team. I think that's what you're talking about.
Husband-wife.
He calls it. He's like, here's the best part. I don't think you're gonna get paid, and they're the ones that go ask the police officer. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that? And the one's bald. And then there's a woman, and she goes and talks to a cop.
About the smear campaign. Yeah. Oh, okay. They're investigators? I thought they were reporters. Anyway, because he was asking about their sources.
They were PIs.
He looks up. Oh, yeah, he asked them to dig up. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
All
anyway,
right, so
things work out.
So things work, yeah. So they can air it. They do air it after 6 months, and it leads to my other favorite scene in the movie, and it's just kind of this montage of it airing. And I love twofold. I love that they showed Pacino in an airport with like 4 other people watching, half interested, watching it, but watching it kind of from afar. And he's sitting at a table, and I'm like, that is how it goes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the reality of it.
Absolutely.
And there are people at home, and it does reach a worldwide audience. But I just thought that was a very unglamorous yet beautiful way to show that, because I just know that I pick up bits and pieces of news that way in the airport. You know what I mean?
Sorry, yes, that's what I completely forgot about that. I forgot about that. We forgot to mention that the tobacco company engineers a smear campaign digging into Wygand's life and kind of being like he had this other wife that he left and was behind on child support payments. And there's another wonderful, beautiful, too rarely aired in terms of being said element to this movie where he goes like, whose life can you not dig into and find all that stuff? And he goes, exactly, that's the point. Anyone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, because you could find this stuff on anyone.
Yeah.
And we're all this way. We all have things that we could be kind of judged for, but it doesn't matter because once they get it out, no one's going to believe it.
They're gonna manipulate it. They're gonna amplify it. They're gonna make you sound like the worst person ever.
And talk about a thing that is more relevant now than ever. It happens in a split second.
Overnight. Your life is over.
People start going, well, let's dig in and see what they said about something 10 years ago.
It really, to me, like what is going on these days, it's some like even if people like sometimes it's completely justified, but the level of like of bloodlust that there is for it, as if no one who is attacking him has ever done anything wrong, is nightmarish to me.
Yeah,
like it is some post-apocalyptic. Like
it's Big Brother, but it comes from us. It's crazy.
It is some creepy ass shit to me.
It's horrifying.
And it's terrifying.
And it's just because it's the death of forgiveness. I mean,
it is. That's what it is. They don't want you to ever have redemption. Redemption is gone.
It's insane. So Wygand said earlier that nothing would change. It's voyeurism, and Wygand's like, but I told the truth, and Lowell's like, oh, you poor son of a bitch. And exactly. I mean, that is the that's it. Yeah. That's part of the heart of the film, or part of the main tension of the film. It's like, this is the truth that's important. And he's like, it doesn't matter if you've
And
already been
it's
judged.
also, it's why you've told, because you told the truth is why all the shit is happening to you.
Yeah, and but it's also very interesting because by the same token, where we're going like, this is crap. They're dragging through the mud, and once it's out, it doesn't matter if it's true. It's all anyone remembers. And then when he tells the truth about the cigarette company, no one will believe him. Well, we're also using the exact same thing to take down the cigarette company, because it's the court of public opinion that's going to take them down. He's like, well, it doesn't, he's like, it doesn't matter. They'll be judged in the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's like this double-edged sword,
It is.
right? I mean, it's very another shot of Mann's style when Wygant is first being.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that stuff is crazy. Just the fact that the dude is in a suit is like.
Yeah. It's creepy.
Yeah. This movie's great. It's so saturated early on. I go, oh yeah, we're in the 90s. It is so super saturated.
How so?
The color-wise, just I mean, like that whole scene is like,
oh yeah, it's green.
Green.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, I remember this.
It's my favorite kind of stuff. Like this, to me, this and Heat is the apex of Mann's style. Because right after this, he went in, he started dealing in digital and with Ali, and then after Ali, he went totally digital. And look, I actually love how he uses digital. Like Miami Vice, how he uses digital, I love it. I do. Yeah. But if it was any other filmmaker, I'd be like, do it for the rest of your life. Fuck it, whatever. Yeah. But my God, dude, you are so good using film that it frustrates me that you don't want that you just don't want to use it anymore, or use digital in a way like film. He's not. He wants to use digital in a different way.
Right.
He doesn't want it to look like film. Yeah. Like he intentionally does that.
It's like when Zemeckis went all CG, and you're like, well,
oh yeah, I know.
But okay.
And then you're like, well, if you want to do that, okay. Because you're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want, because you're your own human.
But I miss you.
But boy,
I know.
Particularly in Zemeckis' case, because I'm like, oh buddy, you're so good when you just do, like, guess what? Flight, awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Loved it.
Yeah. The big shootout in Public Enemies looked like a whole movie.
I know, it's such a bummer.
And how I mean, talk about taking someone out of it. I don't know. It's interesting.
I bought that choice. I bought it for $4. I'm excited to revisit it.
I really want to see it.
Here's the thing, I remember really liking it.
Yeah.
Like really digging the story and like how it's put together and everything, and also being like, my God, if this was on film, this would be better than Road to Perdition in my eyes. Like it would be like that level, because I love Road to Perdition. But that's what that era needs. It needs the level of craft that everything else in the world had at that time. The clothing and the cars and everything. You have to treat it like Conrad Hall treated it in Road to Perdition. You have to be that.
And I mean,
Taylor.
Obviously, it was a choice. Like he's not unaware of that.
No, he's not.
He's
way too smart for that.
That's what we want. That's the thing that. But it's
like,
also the obvious choice, right? It's like to make it look like photographs of the air or something like.
And he's like, no. And
check it out.
It's
I'm
a
gonna
choice.
do it on a selfie stick. Yeah. It's gonna be great.
And I kind of like him because he's just like, I'm gonna do it. No, he's like, I could have made Miami Vice like the show. Yeah. And I didn't do it anyway like the show, both in content or style. Like I went anti-style with it. Sure. And it's a risk. Yeah. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I like that he does that.
Yeah. I during that montage with the show and stuff is the scene that just makes me, like whatever. And it's just it's the same thing. And like the two moments that I go, oh, are the moment where he he can tell how hopeless Wygant is, and he essentially talks him down in the sense that he's concerned about him, and
he tells him not to commit suicide. Basically,
he does. Yeah, he does, and he's like, because and the movie is like just the way it's framed, what's going on, what you're seeing on screen, you're like, oh, this is going to happen, and you think about everything in his life, and you go, oh man, oh gosh, yikes, goodness, but then just the scene, because this latter half becomes so much about Pacino, but they cut back to Wygant, and it's just it's him it's him on television, and his daughters are watching it, and they're watching it, and he's just watching. Hard. I can't because it's just like hard. That's it.
Because that's what he told him.
He actually literally.
He was like, he told him when he was having his breakdown. He was just like, this is, you're telling me, after everything I've lost,
I put my daughters through so that they could...
And everything I put my daughters through, and the only thing that I had to cling to was the fact that this was going to air so the public could see it, and my daughters could see why, so they can know why their lives were turned upside down. And you're telling me that's not going to happen? And so when it finally does, and then she turns and looks at him, And they don't embellish it.
No, it's so...
Like, it's very understated, but it's another masterful, like, music cue that he uses there where it knocks the wind out of you. Because he is so good at, like... I'm all about moments. Like, I'm really, like, building to emotional apexes and stuff. And he's so good. I think that's probably why I like him so much, is he can do everything and then really maximize on those emotional moments. Because he does it in the hotel room, and he does it right there. And then he does it again with this completely unneeded, and it works solely on like a metaphorical level, is when after he gives his testimony, he's going back to Kentucky, they pass by a burning car.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful moment, just music and him looking at this burning car. It has no context. And then he passes the burning car, and they pass by a Kentucky sign, and they stop at a stoplight, and a cop car comes up next to him and looks at him and then drives off. And it's an innocuous look, but it causes him to like take a deep breath after.
Oh, that's interesting, because I thought the burning car was a signal.
Signal for
him.
Meaning?
Just like...
Oh, from Big Tobacco?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I don't like that. That makes it not beautiful to me.
Yeah.
I like the idea that it's completely random.
But he's just kind of but it's almost, and or at least it's enough of a thing where it's like it's in there in his head where it's like that isn't, but is it?
And what do you think that meant? Like, because to me it's like he burned it all down. Like, to me it was
that's interesting.
I've torched everything.
I thought it was just
personal and professional. I torched them. I torched myself. I burnt it all. That's how I took it.
Oh, that's interesting. I took it as like he's coming back in and there's a car on fire, and the state of his life and the state of the people who are deeply unhappy with what he's doing is such that he has to kind of go, is that a warning to me? Like, we know what you just did. We're gonna, and then that guy pulls up and looks at him, and it's like, is it paranoia or is it justified?
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Michael Mann is greatly delivering powerful emotional beats. It's probably why I take so much issue with no one's emotional moments. He's another flashy director who doesn't have the whole package the way Mann. Watch Interstellar. Michael Mann has style and real emotional depth. I think Interstellar in The Prestige he handles.
I think he's the only time he really nailed it for me is in The Prestige, because like I understand the intent and do find the intent of Interstellar great. Yeah. It just does not hit me in any way that Michael Mann just naturally, effortlessly does. You know what I mean? Yeah. But The Prestige does it.
Yeah.
when he's given that speech at the end of The Prestige after Hugh Jackman, after the big reveal, and I mean it's like his final moment.
Yeah.
And he talks about the applause and why they do what they do. It's fucking rad. Dude, it looks like our dicks are on fire.
Yeah. Thank you. This is good. This is good.
Look, we're running an A++ production.
Thank you for the subscription. Oh, that's it. That's a nice. That's a cool idea. Dude.
This is like the opening of Zardoz.
Yeah.
Less than
I
3.
hope so. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ryan, for this 25 months, buddy. How you doing, man? Thank you.
I've got to go.
Yeah. Here's the last thing.
I hope you bookended it with like, I hate those first 4 minutes, and then you bookended it. It's like, I just really hated those first 4 minutes.
This is a flow chart of it's just here my I didn't get many I didn't get many notes, but my first note is Touchstone Pictures. Yeah.
Hey, I thought that too. I was like, fuck, I missed the movies from the 90s, man. It's just nothing's like it's just God, it's just not the same anymore.
I know.
It's a bummer.
I know.
You know?
I didn't write many notes, but I had Touchstone Pictures, action movie music, Middle Eastern whaling. No one says bye getting off the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, when he after in the first 4 minutes, this was a major one.
Yeah.
He opens the curtain and he calls up, I think he calls up what's her name, who's always waking
Debbie
up.
Matzar,
yeah, Debbie Matzar. And he's like, "We're on." Or no, he calls Mike Wallace.
Yeah.
He's like, get on a plane, we're on. Click.
Click.
He says like 4 words, and then he doesn't hang up or he doesn't say goodbye. He just goes click, and I'm like, that's not how anyone talks.
Thank you so much, Ken Coldblood. But yeah, in Heat, I'm like, all right, in Heat. And this one, I just go, okay, you're just too much of a badass. Like,
yeah.
Kind of like that. Thank you so much, Ken Coldblood. I mean, it's not like he does.
But it's a thing in all movies. But man,
it's a thing in Michael Mann movies.
Oh, for sure.
And
Heat in particular. But it kind of works in Heat because everyone's a fucking pro.
And this is just him, like, not, he doesn't. But it's like, it's like he doesn't have time for pleasantries.
But there are times he's on the phone so much in this movie, and there are times when I'm like,
he's a kind, emotional man.
I'd be like, I guarantee whoever you just hung up on someone, they're like, God, Lol's a fucking dick.
It's a race every time. Yeah, cool. I got the information I need to. Okay. Dang it.
He's like, does he even know I never talked to him.
Yeah.
He just spouts off things, and then he hangs up, and I'm like, I think he's crazy.
Yeah. The next time I'm just gonna be like, hey, are you good for filmography this week? And you go, yeah. And I go, I'm just gonna throw it. Fling it. I buy a new phone every time. Because there's no time. Because we got to keep up that.
But you never
But we're dudes.
But they never hang up because like hitting this would be like that's too. It's like anticlimactic. So they're Or you just don't turn it off, and I can just hear the rest of your day, or like the next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You're just farting, and
I just want to montage the scenes like
it's
that.
on.
Montage the scenes where they're just.
Oh God.
Yeah. Just like, gosh darn it. Like, why?
It's like, it's a burner phone, it's fine.
I just set it. It's just setting it on fire with a lighter. I was going to send a text to TriStar Pictures, another classic. Yeah. Here's one. Do you remember
TriStar? I miss.
I know.
I miss the way.
Carolco?
I always pronounce. Is it Carolco?
Oh, I don't know.
I always called it Carolco.
Sure.
Always.
Yeah. Orion's back.
Yeah, I know.
Which I was like, and
they're like a super indie thing.
I kept the that, and I was always like, oh, it's a perfect circle. Oh, it was a little oblong. Cool, Orion. Like, but I love it. Abby, what's up, United Artists? The Pegasus. So the Pegasus. There's a thank you, Abby J. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the bits that you gave to me.
I always liked United Artists, like even like super retro ones all the way to the ending. They're like very simple, very dated, but lovely.
I love and I almost want to say that this is in the beginning of Nice Guys, but maybe not, because they do retro ones now, right? Like particularly for like period pieces. But they do I love the red and black Warner Brothers with like the 3 fingerprints. I'm like, oh, that's nice,
so great.
I love that one.
What's your favorite one? Like just all time? Do you have a like Touchstone? I was very excited. I was just like, Touchstone. I miss Touchstone.
Touchstone is great. And really, honestly, it maps to the feeling. I have feelings mapped onto those logos because of the movies that they represent. Mm-hmm. Like the ones that I've seen the most with that logo in front of them. So Touchstone Pictures to me is Roger Rabbit. And then and Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
Because Touchstone was the what's up, Black? 50 of these bits are given. I'll give him a quarter. I'll give him.
Thanks, my 50
dude.
Cents.
They already got to go to a phone company today. Yeah, absolutely. So like, because Touchstone was the Disney arm where they were like, we're gonna make slightly more adult stuff.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna call it Disney, but it'll be Touchstone. Buena Vista was another. Buena Vista Pictures.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Okay. And Hollywood Pictures was also Disney.
I don't even know Hollywood.
Hollywood Pictures is the Sphinx. Which.
Oh yeah.
Which until this moment, I did not realize.
I thought that was New Line
with Hollywood. No, New Line is the.
I know. I thought that was a. I thought. No, you're right.
Yeah, Hollywood Pictures is the Sphinx. Which again, just a second I go, oh, Hollywood has nothing to do with the Sphinx.
Yeah.
What the crap is that? Like at best it's Las Vegas. Like
Cleopatra. We spent a lot of money on that one. New Line's a great logo though.
The goat.
Canon? I like Canon. Yeah, Canon.
What's Canon?
Have you never seen a Canon movie?
I don't know.
You should watch the documentary on Canon Pictures.
Oh.
Woo!
I always loved Universal's always like a big movie. The which is James Horner is the theme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't remember it.
Bum, bum, bum.
No, wait.
Hold on.
Bum, 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 bum. No. Dang it. Because I've got TriStar in my head now. I can't. No. That's Fox. What's the?
Oh, this is gonna be like an itch.
You know what that is?
Hold on.
Yeah.
This isn't. I gotta get it.
Wait. Yeah, guys. Is it Goldsmith or Horner? That one's Horner. They both wrote one. I think one was Goldsmith and one was Horner because they had different ones. I think the Universal with the black and white biplane going around. That's it. That's Horner. Paramount, yeah. Paramount's awesome. Paramount's great because it's Paramount's so.
Oh, Paramount's one of my favorites.
Well, they're so awesome because they're just like mountains, bitch.
Yeah.
They don't have any set. They're just like.
I think the early '80s TriStar with the real horse.
With the horse.
With the fake kind of like really kind of poorly done effect swings that they put on top of it. That's one of my favorite ones.
Interesting.
Then I would say early '90s Paramount logo, like the classic one.
Yeah, the blue.
No, it's
the
when
mountains.
it's when
like
it's
the oil painting of the mountains. Yeah.
Yes,
that's great.
that one.
That's great. Because that's Paramount is like, gosh, like I mean, wow. I mean, it's like it's Indiana Jones, I guess, but it's also like New Line is Ninja Turtles to me, and then a lot of stuff.
And then this is also my favorite one.
The Universe. That's a really great one. It's so good. It's awesome. Yeah. Oh, I can't.
It's good, you know.
Really great.
I gotta get out of here.
Before you do, for the third time. Sorry. Do you remember the TriStar? So there was I was racking my brain trying to remember this because I remembered seeing a TriStar opening logo where it's like da na na or it's like the da na and he's going and the horse talks. He goes, "Oh, here I go. Oh, here I come. We're gonna. Oh God, yeah. I don't know where I go."
Shut up.
And I was like, "What?
Is it one of the first ones? That ruins the entire classy nature of
Well,
that.
so because I was like, what?
Was it for a funny movie?
Yes, because I was like, what is it? I was like Googling. I was like, what is it? I know that I saw this. And I've never seen it again. I haven't been able to find it. It's Look Who's Talking. At the beginning of the Look Who's Talking movie or movies, the horse talks. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You just want to watch all three. You had Yvonne watch all. Had she not seen them? Yeah, Paramount's great. Well, the thing is, like Paramount and Universal are always like gigantic movies, like huge movies, right? They're just like.
I think this is my favorite one.
Yeah, that one's great. That one's great.
I guess we can't really see this.
Good.
Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah. Oh, that one's fantastic. That one truly is great.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones.
I believe that's like. I want to say that's like Father of the Bride.
God, man, movie logos are so rad. Like they're just so cool.
And I always love Coralco because I was like, that's like they got like
Yeah.
I feel like there's like it's like Terminator.
Yeah.
But it's like they got like 8 movies and then like I feel like and then Cutthroat Island like destroyed them.
Oh, is that the one? Oh, so Cutthroat Island destroyed Okay.
Yeah, and then which Cutthroat Island is not?
Because that was Cameron's company.
Yeah.
Was it? It did Terminator 2. I know it did True Lies. I thought it was Cameron's company with his wife. What's her name?
Galen Hurd.
Galen Hurd, yeah.
Right? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And then Orion to me is RoboCop. I just remember that. And Orion it was just yeah. I mean they made tons of movies, but like that opening to me, I go RoboCop.
Cool.
And it's great. I yeah.
Paramount to me.
Paramount and Universal had so many huge movies that it's like
Paramount's always Indiana Jones. Honestly, Paramount is Harrison Ford to me.
Yeah, that makes
it's
sense.
on like because I really do associate Paramount with a movie that I don't even like that much, but Clear and Present Danger and Patriot Games.
Yeah.
And like, and I know you don't like those.
How do you know?
I think I was like, you've never seen Patriot Games? Patriot Games is fucking
I've never
right.
seen it.
I love. Oh, we've talked about Tom Clancy in general. I read Tom Clancy growing up, and whatever. And and the movies are like whatever, but they're not bad. They're just like
sure. I'm sure they're not bad.
They're just like
Patriot.
but
Fugitive
they don't.
is-
But to me, they don't work without Harrison Ford. They're not good enough to work without him. Like when they went to Ben Affleck and stuff, I'm like, I don't. You're not good enough to hold without his charisma and just who he is as a person.
Yeah.
These don't work.
Sure. I didn't see any of those, but yeah. Wait, we didn't talk about Clancy. We talked about Christian. Well, we talked about both. Yeah. Anyway, all right.
You are. I'm gonna punch you someday.
Why? Because.
I'm starting to believe
Gosh.
that you don't like espionage in general.
Like the idea of it's
Not in any one way, but just overall.
What a specific.
I feel
thing to
like
say.
I feel like a genie pooped back here. and then a ghost appeared.
This is crazy.
Boy.
Gosh, that looks so insane. There's like no way to explain what that is.
There's like a portal back there that we're not addressing.
That is like now stunning special effects because it's like, what is that?
Yeah, it looks like a unicorn throw.
Yeah.
Like espionage.
Why? Because
Like you don't like the first
specific-
4 minutes of this. You don't like Patriot Games. You don't like you don't like Tom Clancy stuff. You don't.
Well, the first
like-
4 minutes of this don't really have.
do you
anything
like
to do with the content of
Do you
it.
like Under Siege?
Do I like Under Siege? Is that where you went? I'm sorry. Hold on a second. You go like clearly. If you don't like Under Siege, you don't like the.
Under Siege is a great movie.
I had not seen it.
You know why? Because you were like, what is that, espionage? No, thank you.
There's another reason I didn't necessarily feel like Under Siege was a must see.
Why? Because if you're saying Steven Seagal, wrong again. Because it's great.
I don't think I've ever seen a Steven Seagal movie.
What?
Yeah.
Seagal month. Next month.
I think Logo is sensitive to movies that have the pretense of being cool. Untrue. I just don't think things are cool that I don't think are cool.
You're
and then
just
when
a
things are
goddamn.
not cool,
You're just a contrarian.
I'm not!
For contrarian's sake.
so not true. I love Ocean's 11. Ocean's 11 is very cool.
No one likes Ocean's 11. And that's why. That's why.
No one likes Ocean's 11? Everyone likes Ocean's 11. There's no way. I love RoboCop. RoboCop is the coolest thing in the world, and it's very cool. Like when he went off the rails about The Matrix. No, everyone else went off the rails. Yeah. The Matrix.
Here's the other thing.
Sunglasses.
When you I would prefer if when you said you don't like The Matrix, then just hit me hard with it. Because what you do is you're like, look. Here's what you do. You're like, look. It's good. All right? And like, you're not a bad person for liking it. Because like,
I'm not talking to you.
You're just like, you're a dumb guy.
That's not what I'm doing. Oh my gosh. Oh,
And
well,
like,
it's
I
not
understand
that.
that your primitive, stupid brain likes these stupid things.
Yeah.
And I pity you for that. And that's cool. And then you come back to me and you're like, and here's the other thing. These first 4 minutes, you wouldn't understand, but like, they're not good.
It's not what I said, but it's what I believe. Wait, no. No. When Lobo somewhat dismissed the idea of Heat being primarily a heist movie, which it is not, then said Ocean's 11 is a better example of a purely heist movie, you almost jumped out the window because you realized your life was a lie?
You're just a contrarian. I'm not.
This is
You realize you have to turn that into a t-shirt, and that's a filmography
Yeah.
t-shirt. Oh, man.
Yes, I can't argue with that. That's when you go, when did you stop beating your wife? That's the when did you stop beating your wife argument.
Oh, man.
Because if I say I am, which is not true, then I am a contrarian. You're all insane.
No, you just say I never did.
No, I know. Yeah, I don't. No. Listen. No, listen. A contrarian. No, someone used that. Someone said that on the radio, and I was like, that's not a hard thing to. You go like, that's absurd. I never have done that.
Right.
Yeah. There is no satisfactory answer for people who like Heat and the first 4 minutes of The Insider to you're just a contrarian. No, Heat's great.
Because it just, like,
I know.
he just comes out of the ocean a little bit, you know? He's coming up for air, and it just comes out, like, a little bit, where he'll just go, he's just like, you know, like, fucking heat.
Yeah.
Fucking heat.
Heat is
Look, he's awesome.
Heat is very cool. It's very cool, and the end of it is fantastic. The heart of it is not about a heist. It's
That's
not
true.
about a heist.
I agree.
And so, in the sense of movies being primarily about a heist, Ocean's 11 is a better example of a movie that is just about heist.
I agree with that.
So do you,
Heat
Emblock.
is a crime saga.
Yeah.
And that's what it's labeled
as. It is ultimately the story of a relationship between two men who are at odds circumstantially, but respect each other personally. That's what it is.
This guy gets heat. This guy. What's your middle name?
It's Heat.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Would you stop saying things you really believe in a sarcastic way? It's driving me insane. Oh, stop not loving every element of Heat.
Look, the wheels have fallen off this production.
Stop feeling like you need to like every bit of Heat because you're a dude.
Yeah, no, there are issues with Heat, and I love it to death.
Rock and roll.
Boom. Collateral next week.
Collateral next week. I'm sure we're going to be... This is going to be great.
I can't wait. I think this is like, in addition to like, I'm learning how much I love Michael Mann as a filmmaker. I'm learning that you have massive issues with Michael Mann as a filmmaker.
Not massive issues.
No, I just mean on like core levels. I think you're just like, that doesn't interest me. Certain things that he's interested in, that just which is fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What we need to do is find something that I like have a whole month of that like I like that you can find fault with, but I don't think that exists because I just like stuff.
Well, we're gonna do.
Should
we tell them what we're doing next month?
So
I saw what you were doing there, and I cut you off because I don't want you to go down that
road. Because the argument here, I don't understand why. I do.
Do you want to tell them what we're doing next month?
I do, but I had a second idea.
Oh, okay. All right. We're gonna let you know. Well, we're gonna have to let you know next week what we're doing.
Yeah,
but
after because we'll do next week is Collateral. Next week is Collateral. So about a hitman, he kills people for money. Don't know how I feel about that. There are plenty of great movies about hitmen. It's not a problem.
Have you ever seen a little movie called Hitman? It's great.
Have you seen a movie called Gross Point Blank? You should watch that.
Oh, that's a good movie. That's a fantastic movie. Oh man, remember when John Cusack didn't just hate his life as an actor and just like, and you could feel it in every performance he did.
Yeah, it's funny that honestly, it's weird that like, it's funny. I haven't seen him in a movie in a long time, but
he seems just upset that he has to act.
It's weird that Nicolas Cage has like, I feel because like he's kind of like he's gone the Nicolas Cage route where he's just doing a bunch of stuff.
He does it. I think he's had like a lot of attack stuff, and so he's doing that. He's burning through those to do that. But he does at least once a year. He'll do something that you're like, that's badass.
What, John Cusack? Oh, Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Nicolas Cage. Yeah, I didn't.
Always once a year. He's like, I gotta do one to make sure they know I'm still a great actor, but I gotta do these other ones. And I think he's even pretty clear. He's like, look, we know what these are.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta make my money back.
Gross Point Blank is more of a prom movie. Emblock, you're really hurting. You're really hurting. And I understand because I'm pointing out the flaws in your arguments, but it's all right. Thanks, Jeff. Drive safe. Yeah, good point.
Thanks, Sunny Bits. That was a good laugh that I had.
Yeah,
that was a good joke.
Yeah.
Collateral next week.
Collateral next week.
Prep for it. Watch it. It's a great movie.
I cannot wait.
It's full Man. It's full Michael Mann.
Yeah,
so I'll be very, very curious to have.
No, you won't. You don't have to be curious. You know what's going to happen. I haven't seen it since 2004. I'm sure
I'm gonna start watching it and be like, which 4 minutes
is
he gonna pull apart this
that
time?
I like?
Have you ever seen Collateral?
No, I have.
Do you not like it?
I like it.
I think we discussed it a little bit.
I need to rewatch.
Yeah, it'd be. I think I agreed actually with a lot of the things that you said. You were like, this was so sad.
There's a big element that I unfortunately am not on board with. But
yeah. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it in 14 years, so maybe.
Oh my God, has it been that long?
Yeah, it's 2004, so it's like 15 years now.
I remember seeing it.
That makes no sense.
That makes no sense.
That is a full human being.
Yeah, that's like a grown human being.
Ish, yeah.
I remember seeing it in theater.
That's a teenager.
So, yeah.
That is a high school student. A full high school student since Collateral came out.
But it's that thing where it's just like anything post 2000, you're just like, well, that was just like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You're like, that was 15 years ago.
I know, man.
And you're like, oh boy.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys.
That we do that.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back. And we'll talk about some stuff. The green screen doesn't work anymore, so look at this.